Welcome to the Primo's Musings podcast.
Good evening. This is Shri here with the Week 4 recap of the National Football League. Just when you thought there would not be any surprises, the league always throws a new wrinkle in each and every week. Um, the one thing I did want to cover was that we talked about a few uh, division matches that were in store. Let's start off down in the West or down in the Midwest with the Vikings and Packers. It looked like the Vikings were on a roll. They had a 28-0 lead. Sam Darnold and Vikings offense was clicking on all cylinders. Jordan Love had just come back. So it seemed like they were a little rusty on their offensive side. But back in the third and fourth quarter, the Packers made a huge comeback and almost came to cut it down to like 6-point lead. And then the Vikings only managed to win by 31-29. Um, that definitely, they went for a 2-point conversion and they got it, uh, but they reduced it to 6. But the Vikings hit that big field goal to extend the lead, and then the Packers managed to, cut it close. But it just tells you that you cannot sleep on any lead in the NFL. It's usually you have to finish the game. The other ones, which we also talked about, the division matchups, the Falcons and Saints. I was totally wrong on that one. I thought the Saints would go into Atlanta, win it. They've always had a history of beating the Falcons, but give credit to the Falcons for sticking it at the end. They had the lead, they lost the lead, and they had their kicker who kicked a 50-plus yarder as time expired to win that matchup. So Falcons, I put them in a better spot. Um, some of the good news I wanted to talk about was the Bengals and Panthers. Bengals, for them, maybe this is the way for them to bounce back. They went on the road. They could not afford to go 0-4. They managed to come up with a big victory there. One of the undefeated teams, the Colts or the Steelers, fell to the Colts on the road. The Colts actually were winning by a lot, but the Steelers came back. Justin Fields put on his shoulders, ran for 2 touchdowns, cut down the lead, but the Colts were able to hang on dearly to take the undefeated Steelers or hand the first Steelers their first loss. At this point of time, you just have the Kansas City Chiefs that are one of the teams that are right now um, the undefeated team. The same thing with the Bills. The Bills also fell down to the Ravens. It was a beating on Monday Night Football. The Ravens were clicking on all cylinders. They needed this win more than the Bills did, and but the Bills go down uh, pretty badly to the Ravens, 35-10. Uh, and then the Titans got their first victory as well. They beat the Dolphins on the road, so good win for them. But one of the best matchups, and then let me still continue. The Chiefs stay undefeated with a victory over Chargers. I have no idea how the Chargers were losing this game. They were up 10-0. Chiefs did lose one of the wide receiver, Rashee Rice. Mahomes tried to throw a block and then took out his receiver. But credit to Chiefs and Mahomes, where they don't flinch. This is the hallmark. This is the mark of a true championship team, where they don't flinch. They continue to battle. Things don't go their way for 3 or 4 quarters of the game, but when the time matters, Mahomes always puts his team on his shoulders and then gets them the victory. The Chargers had multiple chances to shut the door on the Chiefs, but when you don't take care of the opportunities that come your way, you're going to pay for it. And the Chiefs definitely did that. And the Chargers have continued this losing streak against the Chiefs. They cannot beat the Chiefs at home. And Patrick Mahomes and Chiefs continue to not only dominate the division, but they are on top of the AFC right now. The road to the Super Bowl will go through them at this point because of their undefeated record so far. And that could not bode well for any team playing the Chiefs on the road. The Chiefs went on the road last year to win the Super Bowl. Um, Having a home court, home field will definitely help the Chiefs much better path. Having said that, it's still a long way to go. It's only nine more games, not nine more, almost 13 more games still left till the season ends. So a lot of NFL yet to be played, and and every team will try to knock down the Chiefs. But the best matchup that took place was yesterday, the Lions and Seahawks. This is another matchup that I did talk about where the Seahawks have dominated the Lions at the Lions' home field. And the Lions definitely had a lot to prove. They took an early lead. They had a two-touchdown lead, but Geno Smith was just phenomenal, and he threw um, for more than 395 yards, 390 yards, threw for 56 times. And in spite of the fact that Kenneth Walker had like almost 80 yards rushing, um, all their receivers with DK Metcalf, Lockett, and Smith Njigba actually had pretty good um, catches. I mean, they accounted for close to almost 200 yards in um, catching, receiving. Geno Smith, 395 yards, definitely put the Seahawks on his shoulders. But Jared Goff was almost perfect. Well, he was perfect. 18 for 18, 292 yards, two touchdowns, and um, he did everything in his power to keep his team from not losing the lead. They had a good running attack. They rushed for 26 times, almost for 120 yards. The receivers, the ball was well spread, um, and uh, even Amon St. Brown threw a touchdown pass to Jared Goff. So Goff not only had an 18 for 18 statistics, he also accounted for one receiving touchdown from Amon St. Brown. So if you look at the way it turned out, this was a track meet. The Seattle Seahawks actually had more yards than the Detroit Lions. They accounted for 516 yards, um, but the key they also dominated the Lions in terms of first downs. They had 38 first downs to 21 first downs, um, and every stat that you saw seemed to point in Seahawks' direction, including the time of possession. But one interception that definitely cost them, and the Seahawks right now, I mean, in spite of their loss, I still think that they're one of the best teams in the NFL. Um, Great job by Mike McDonald and in 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 making sure that they are ready to play. They are going to be a tough out in any matchup right now. So in the NFC, when I look at it, I see that the Seahawks are the best team, one of the best teams. 49ers will there's also Vikings who are also 4-0 right now. I did mistake for only Kansas City as the only undefeated team. The Commanders have been a very surprise team. Right now, they are one of the top teams right now. They have proved themselves to be one of the best teams in the NFC East. Jayden Daniels has been incredible. He's so far his percentage, 82 percentage, which is unreal. He's thrown for three touchdowns, one interception, but the bottom line is that his completion percentage is very good. He's distributing the ball. They're playing good defense, and that's why they're winning right now. So they've been surprised of the team so far. With that, I'd like to wrap up the week 4 of the NFL. Like I said, the top teams continue to dominate. Kansas City, the Ravens, and some teams like Washington Commanders are clear surprise. Thank you for listening and have a good night.
Thank you for listening. Primo will be back soon.